When it comes to creating your own chocolate cocktails, you really don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can just simply take some of the classic cocktail recipes that you know and love and put a chocolate spin on them. And that is what I'm going to do in today's video. I've got 5 classic, sometimes classic mixologist, some classic fun. I'm going to take those 5 cocktails and I'm going to put a chocolate spin on them. Let's see if we can make them taste any better with chocolate. Right, the first cocktail I'm going to attack is the pina colada, and I'm going to take the pina colada and turn it into a white chocolate colada. And again, there are multiple ways that you could do this. I'm going for the bare basic way, and I've got Monon's white chocolate, but you know, you can play about with your rums. You can do different pineapple. You can do, I've got coconut puree here. You could do a coconut rum. You do you. As I always say, I'm just here purely and utterly for inspiration, to give you ideas and to get your little brains thinking of how you could use syrups, purees, and all that in different ways. So the first thing I'm going to do, because I haven't got much booze in here, I'm probably going to drink this myself. I'm going to go 60 ml double bubble of white rum in here. There we go, 60 ml that, and obviously you can see from that, sorry, I'm going to flash blend this as well with crushed ice. So I'm going to blend it. Monon's, I haven't opened this, Monon's white chocolate. This is going to be I think my first ever try of this. Oh, that's a mistake. That's like Milky Bar kids. Ooh, there's another funny aroma to that as well. That's really interesting. White chocolate, Milky Bar. I kind of get, what's the word? Marshmallow off that as well. Ooh, that's interesting. Right, I'm going for 15 ml. You do you. 15 ml. I think we can always, that's the thing I always say, you can always add more, you can never take away. So if it's not as chocolatey or not as sweet as you want, simply add more afterwards. Easy, innit? Easy. Right, we've got that brand new bottle of this Monin coconut, and I'm gonna do, hang on, I might need to, because brand new, there we go. I'm gonna measure this out, just, come on. Right, a good shake later. And yes, I had taken the cap off. Right, that's gonna be playing it by ear, I think, and I might have to spoon that out. That was about, yeah, I'm gonna have to spoon that out. I reckon, by the time that's all done, I reckon I've got about 25 ml of coconut puree in there. I did give it a good shake, but you can kind of see, there we go, look at that. Cheeky barman banter. I wouldn't have had that problem with ODK, would I? I'm only joking, I'm messing. It's a cracking product. That'll loosen up. After it's a bit more out and I've given it a really good shake, there's a bit more room in it, that'll loosen up. But I suppose the other way you can take that is that it's actually more coconutty than what the ODK is, even though they're both roughly the same. They're both about 50%. Anyway, this is measured out. This is just these 60 ml shot glasses. There's about 50 ml of 100% pressed pineapple juice. Go on in there. I'm just going to add a scoop of crushed ice and give it a flash blend. And then just to share the love, I was going to use the Monin one, but let's share the love around. I've got the ODK white chocolate here. You don't have to do this. I've got it here, so it's going to be fun. I'm just going to kind of put some white chocolate sauce all around the inside of our pina colada glass. Although I got told off before, this is actually a beer glass. I mean, who the flipping hell was going to put beer in that? It's a flipping pina colada glass. But if you look on the Drinkstuff website, I think it comes under stemmed beer glasses. But hey ho. Right, I've got my my pina colada, my white chocolate colada. There we go. Flash blended, just poured in there. Just going to top that up with a bit more crushed ice. And then garnished with a couple of pineapple fronds that I've always got in the freezer, you know me, and then a couple of our brand new Frona dried pineapple slices. White chocolate colada, boom. Right, the all important question, do I need to add more of the Monin white chocolate syrup? Oh no, it's not, again, it's not sweet. You think, because there's a lot of rum in there, but there's pineapple juice, there is coconut puree in there, and there's the white chocolate syrup. It's actually still not that sweet. I dare say some of you might actually add more chocolate syrup. I don't need to. This is taking the pina colada to a whole new level. Right, cocktail 2, we're going for the old-fashioned whiskey cocktail. This isn't too dissimilar to the classy white chocolate martini that I rolled out in the last video, but for all you pubs and bars out there, this is going to be a great one to improve whiskey sales. And you could actually, as you've probably hopefully seen in the last video, you could use some of your rum in here. But Very similar, just slightly different bitters. So that's what we're going for. Now, I pulled out the big guns, no expense spared. This is hands down the best whiskey on the market, of course it is. Full disclosure, I'm not a whiskey fan. I don't generically, I don't mind Jack Daniels. You can roughly, I like my rum. You can gauge my palate from that. I really love my rum and I'll go down rum rabbit holes. I've never really got onto whiskey. Bourbon, I'm all right with. Scotch, no, just not for me. Irish, yeah. So pick out, don't do me, you do you. You pick out your favourite sort of whiskey in there. So I'm going for a 60 ml of just your favourite whiskey in there. Pick out, you like that drink whiskey, you'll know which ones maybe have, I know rum has chocolate notes, I'm assuming some whiskey have chocolate notes, so you go with your gut on that one. 15 ml or 5 ml or 10 ml, however much you kind of want to sweeten this up, but add flavour to this. I'm going, because I'm not a whiskey fan, I'm going 15 ml. That's enough for me. Rum, I am a fan of, I do 5 ml of syrups with rum. So, 15 ml of that. Then, and I dare say, if you're in a pub or bar environment, unless you're in a really top hotel bar, then I would imagine, or a 5-star bar or a Michelin bar or whatever, Michelin restaurant with a bar, I would imagine most pubs and bars, you're going to need 15 ml at least in your cocktails, all right? So that's just how people's palates are. Anyway, Angostura bitters, I'm gonna do one, it might be two, but one dash. Yeah, like that, that's fun. Right, just big chunky ice, I'm gonna stir it down. Now, two things here, because as I've said, I'm not a whiskey fan, I've stirred it for a bit longer, okay? So typically with rum, I might be do 15, 20, 25 seconds with rum. With whiskey, I nearly go towards the minute. What that's gonna do is add more dilution. All right, so that's my palate. That's where we come from. Now, to serve this up, the second thing I was going to say, Jesus, the chocolate aroma that comes off that when I was staring it down, it was mad, absolutely mad. Right, I've just got some big chunky ice. Just going to single strain that over the top there. Just looks like a typical sort of old-fashioned. None of this muddling oranges down, and then I've got a Frona dried orange just for garnish. There we go. Chocolate old-fashioned. That's actually really good. I taste the whiskey. As I say, I'm not the hugest whiskey fan. I taste I don't lose the whiskey, but there is a lovely chocolatey vibe to that. If I'd have done that as a rum fashioned with the Angostura bitters, that would have been right up my street. But for whiskey fans, I reckon, if you're a whiskey fan, drop into the comments below. How does this, would you make this? Let me know. So I've done one fun classic cocktail and I've done one classy classic cocktail. So let's go back to the fun and let's riff up the White Russian. Now you can shake the White Russian. I keep going Jonathan Ross lately, but anyway, you can shake the White Russian, of course you can. But if we're looking at films like The Big Lebowski and stuff like that, he stirs it with his little finger. And actually, when you kind of don't shake it, it does make great theatre. However, I've got some different elements here, so I'm going to make it in there, but I'll stir it before I do the cream. So what I've got is vanilla vodka to start off with. I like vanilla and chocolate. It kind of works well. Of course it does. They're complementary flavours. So 45 ml of vanilla vodka in your glass. Boom. Right, next thing is your coffee liqueur of choice. Now you guys, I've spoken about this time and time again. I like to use Mr. Black because it isn't as sweet as Kahlua, which means when you add sweetness to it, you kind of bring it out to Kahlua levels. If you use Kahlua in this, then for a lot of people, actually adding the syrup to Kahlua or Tia Maria is actually going to be way too sweet. So that's why I like using products like Mr. Black. Basically, an unsweetened, as near as damn it, coffee liqueur. So I'm going for 15, 22, there we go. But I was contemplating 30 then, but I'm going to do 22.5 ml. So 3/4 of an ounce of coffee liqueur. In there, lovely. And then, to rock out a different syrup, I'm going for, actually, sorry, I've got this here for as well. I've got the same syrup, I've got 2 bottles of it here. We've got chocolate cookie. Love this stuff. This stuff is epic. And again, 15 ml. This is epic in lattes and stuff like that as well. Right, 15 ml of chocolate cookie in there. Now, I'm just going to give this a very quick kind of stir, because obviously you've got the syrup and stuff in there. You just want to combine those flavours. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pour some single cream over the top. This will sort of bleed through the cocktail. It might layer, we'll see. But you hopefully get a nice, cool finished effect on top there. Oh, it's actually layering, I think. There we go. Happy days, look at that. That's roughly about 60 ml of single cream in there. Now, obviously, as I come to drink it and stir it, all that's going to bleed in through there. No need to garnish that, I don't think. I think that looks really cool. It's like a little mini pint of Guinness in it. Like that. That is good. As I like to say, my phrase, cash converter. Put that in any pub or bar menu. You're going to sell that by the ton. So we're up to 2 fun, 1 classy. Let's level it all off now with another classy. And I'm going to overcomplicate a Negroni and do a chocolate Negroni, a chocolate and orange Negroni. Now, my left brain is kind of like fighting with my right brain at the moment, because I want to go classy. I've gone Citadel gin. You could do any gin in here. But long-term viewers, I've still got a bit of that left. Jaffa Cake gin, chocolate and orange gin. And I'm thinking, should I be using that instead? Look, this would be a great riff to go. If you've got that, you can kind of get rid of a couple of flavours here. But I'm going to pretend that you haven't got that. You've just got plain gin. So let's just go with it. So gin-wise, I'm just going to do standard Negroni. So 30, 30, 30 of this. So 30 ml of your gin of choice. There. 30 ml of Campari. I'll do the lids in a second. There we go. Cool. 30 ml of Campari. Don't need it, do I? Just chuck it on the floor. Simple. 30 ml of Campari and 30 ml of your favourite Rosso vermouth, whichever you want to pour. I quite like this, Ashley. I don't use too much of it, but it's got a lovely sort of flavour to it. I don't do bone dry vermouths or anything like that. I like a bit of flavour, and this one's quite nice. So we've got a standard Negroni. Before I tread it, I'm going to pick that lid up. Right, there we go. Now, to add the chocolate and orange vibe to this, I've got some triple sec from Mon in here. Cointreau, I've still got the bottle of Cointreau here. You could use Cointreau, you could use orange bitters in this. There are multiple different ways you could go. But I'm doing 15 ml of triple sec orange liqueur, essentially. I'm going to match that with the William Fox, because again, if you're going to use a chocolate coloured syrup in here, that'll change the colour of this. And we still want the Negroni to be red. If we're going to sell this, if it's going on menus, pub and bar menus, it needs to be appealing as well. So 15 ml of William Fox's clear milk chocolate syrup. And then I'm just going to pimp, that's not the word I'm looking for. What's the word? Hype up. That's not the word either. Hype up the chocolatiness with some chocolate bitters. So I'm going to go 12 drops now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. There we go. Might have been 14. But, right. Just need to ice this down and then stir it up. I tell you what, while I'm stirring this down, help me out. If you've got some, I can't even think of a word for that. I need to improve my vocabulary. I need to learn more words, don't I? So if you've got a way that I could learn more words, help me out in the comments below. Is there an app for that? I don't know. I need to maximise, I can't think of what the word is. I need to maximise my vocabulary. I don't know. You guys love me for my Cornish chaviness, don't you? So it's what comes with living on the Essex borders. Right, so stirred down, single strain into a tumbler with some biggish ice, and then garnished with a Frona, brand new Frona dried orange. Not the biggest Negroni fan, but if I was out and that was on the menu and I had the guts to try it, I'd quite happily drink that and maybe buy another one. That's really good. The vermouth for me, because, as I said, I explained about the vermouth, I don't like bone dry vermouth, so that does add a touch of sweetness to it anyway. I've got the chocolate syrup, which again adds a touch of sweetness, but we're not dramatically sweetening the cocktail up. Don't forget, we've got bone dry gin, we've got Campari, like a huge bitterness notes to it. That's really, and triple sec, which, although it's a liqueur, is not massively sweet in that sense. That's really good. Negroni fans, I urge you to try that. Now look, as the rest of the videos and the recipes that I'm rocking out this month in other videos are going to be of the sweeter, more leery variety, let's finish this off with another classy cocktail. And I'm going to riff up the Manhattan, and we're going for a chocolate Manhattan. Again, not one of my favourite cocktails, but I'm hoping this is going to work. I honestly, genuinely do really, really love that Negroni. That is a cracking Negroni. Probably made better with a bit of rum, but hey, that's really, really good. So we've got 2 fun in there. We've got 3 classy. So for the Negroni, for the Manhattan, again, we're rocking out the world's best bourbon. It's not even bourbon, is it? What is it? Whiskey. Let's just, before I get the hate, let's just call it a whiskey. So 60 ml, but again, pubs, bars, this is an opportunity for you to kind of rock out and maximise your whiskey sales, get your decent whiskies. If you want to use Jack Daniels in cocktails, that will work, but you know, it's a chance for you to get your Woodfords, your Blantons and all that sort of stuff out. Right, you could charge a bit more premium, you could charge a bit more for your cocktails, can't you? Right, 60 ml. Will this be bottle kill? I've had it long enough. No, not quite, Jesus. Right, this bottle was probably about 3-4 years old. Wow, well, before COVID. It's got to be 4 years old now. So finally there. Right, so 60 ml of that. 20 ml, again, this is exactly what I said in the last one. If you want to play about with your vermouths, if you want to go for a dry vermouth, do you. 20 ml of that. This one, as I've kind of explained in the previous video, it's a little bit thinner, but definitely flavour forward. So it's not a thick and gloopy syrup. Gloopy is the wrong word, but it's not as thick as the Monin syrups, all right? So 15 ml, 1.5. You can kind of see it when I pour it out. It's a lot thinner, but ODK are flavour forward. So 15 ml of the syrup there. Maraschino is kind of like a vibrant cherry liqueur without being really sweet, like a cherry hearing or cherry brandy or anything like that. So just gonna go, hang on, and if I use the other one, yeah, perfect. 5 ml. Just get the old mezclar out to be really, really precise. There we go. 5 ml of that. And then chocolate bitters, just to kind of amp that up again. You could use Angostura in this, but chocolate bitters, right. I'm going for, if we've got enough, is this bottle kill? No, we've got plenty in there. 10 to 12 drops in there. 11, 12, perfect. Right, ice and stir down to give it that nice chill like we did with the Negroni. Right, that's lovely. 45 seconds or so. Now, I know this is not politically correct, but it is a slightly bigger glass. I really like the glass, and I actually do like adding a chunk of ice in there to sit like an orange. I'm going to garnish it up with like an orange. So, you know, you could put it on the side, but I do kind of like the ice in there. As I say, not politically correct. You wouldn't get that in your 5-star hotel bars. Just put that in there, and then we'll just sort of balance the Frona dried orange on top, and that is your chocolate Manhattan. Do you know what? That's actually really surprised me as well. Again, if that was on the menu, Manhattan is something I normally wouldn't buy. But if that was on a menu, chocolate, you could label that as a chocolate and orange Manhattan as well. Chocolate and cherry Manhattan? No, because obviously Maraschino. That's really, really good. Really lovely forward chocolate notes. Balances out the whiskey in there. That's really good. Right, those famous sort of classic cocktails done, riffed up with chocolate. What other classic kind of cocktails would you riff up? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know your suggestions. Help the rest of the cocktail community out in there. But don't forget, don't come at me with like the screaming orgasms and the death by chocolates and all that sort of stuff. They are coming out in future videos. I can't wait to recreate chocolate bars. Cheers, boys and girls. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button on the way out if you haven't done so already.